Hello there. Small update. Need to fix something about the Printshift, this giant hole here. Now, I've actually been using this machine to produce parts. So it's been running pretty constantly. I did shine up the bed, make it look a little nicer. But mainly, every once in a while parts fall down in here. And for the things I'm printing right now, they're small enough that it really doesn't matter. But it's for another project. Get to it later. So, how do we prevent stuff from falling in the hole? There's two options, and since I've got a 3D printer, I've actually built both of them. One, we cover up the hole. This is a nice, complicated part. Joy of open source hardware is that I have a 3D model of a Prusa Mini, and I can actually design this not by trial and error, but by actually fitting it in place in CAD. It's just enough to slip under there. Go in. And this can be held in place with two M3 screws and 2020 T-nuts. It blocks most of the area. Could expand it to block more, but I was worried about slinging parts off without getting in the way. This little slit is necessary to get around the little carriage there. The other option, this is what I was actually doing at Earth, putting a little tongue on the machine. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna have something sticking out. Why not have something sticking out? I want it to be flexible so that we don't have a rigid part sticking out there to smash or beat against things. This one came out a little too flexible. Let's see. Pause for a second and put some sticky on here to demonstrate the increase or the too flexibility of it. Now, not for production, but when you're prototyping, double stick tape is just so handy to have around. Double-sided tape, I should say. I don't know who says double stick tape. But this is engaging on the Y carriage. There's a little screw hole there. Most minis will have a screw there, but since we put the belt in, we had to take that one out. So, if the Prusa Mini had a tongue, what do you think it would look? This is my first go at it, and the first time I've played with anything flexible, and it turns out it's a little too flexible. There you go. It doesn't catch every time, but it catches often enough that it's not really important. There's also, due to the design of the Mini, just a very small gap in here. So we could throw in a tongue, and then a very small shield, but it would have to be shaped very similar to this, and even thinner. These two cannot coincide. Although I do think I could make the tongue thinner. This, I think, is... How thick did I make it? 7mm, maybe? But if you throw a little texture on the top, so you don't bend very far in the other direction. Get a model with all of that unsettling lickingness that does not bind up. It also doesn't fold over to stick on the bed anymore, which is fine. But it does bend to a fairly tight radius. And recall, the point of this is just to shuffle parts from the bed so that when they're ejected, they don't fall in. This tongue could be a little wider, giving more space, so it's probably not the final design. But I'd like to get on there and do some test prints to see how well we're doing with it. So, to install, I have a recessed screw hole and just a square nut. It's kind of a pain in the rear to get on there because I really don't want to take the bed off. I'm going to have to print on it. This, to me, is the solution best fit for the internet crowd. It's not really my goal to have the most cursed Prusa Mini, but this thing's been around so long and we've been together for enough that I feel like He kind of owes me at this point. That, and it's the one I almost always bring to conventions just because it's the most punk rock. So, to install this without dismantling, you absolutely need some, these are called bayonet forceps. They're not offset tweezers or anything. Bayonet. That lets you hold the square nut and actually align it with the hole in the bed. So you can see how tight our gaps are on this Mini and how much effort we're putting to try and cram everything in. This is trying to put a blind screw in. I am going to line up the nut with the hole first, and then line up the screw with the hole. When we have that lined up, you can start tightening your screw. The Mini is trying to lick me while I do the install. Oh, cursed, as my son would say. But that is Prusa Mini with a tongue. I'm going to get some prints going on it. See how reliable this is over multiple prints, and especially when we start running the injector. Thanks for the quick one. I will throw these files up on GitHub. I do feel like this is probably the right answer. Recall that will catch nearly any part thrown at it. There's still some small gaps we could even improve on this design a little, fill in it more, but that is just the cursed Prusa Mini. Anyways, happy printing.